Welcome back to Suit Up and Hack. In this video, we're going to dive into PInvoke and how you can use it to call Win32 APIs from, in this example, user32.dll. But you can use it for kernel32.dll or any other Windows DLL files. Now, it's going to be important to note that with PInvoke, if you're using it in your offensive tooling, PInvoke does show up in the import address table. And in the next video, we're going to do DInvoke, where it's going to be an implicit call. It won't show up in the import address table, and thereby could maybe hide a little bit more ambiguous when it comes to EDR solutions. But for the purposes of this, let's see how we can call MessageBoxA using PInvoke in our C# program. You'll see on the screen here, we already have a skeleton of a program already put together. First thing we're going to have to do is we're going to have to call or make the explicit declaration, so to speak, for this. And what I'm going to do here is going to be DllImport. And we're going to say user32.dll. We're going to put a comma, set last error equal to true. So that way, if there's an error, we'll be able to see it. char set ANSI. All right. Next, we're going to actually say which function we want from user32.dll. It's going to be public static extern int MessageBoxA. Then we're going to have to go ahead and say each of the different components of MessageBoxA, comma. Next is going to be, I believe, the string, just text, another string, LP caption, and then a u int of u type. All right, we made our what we're calling, what we want from user32.dll. We're going to close it off with a semicolon. That allows us, we can go ahead, call MessageBoxA, and it's going to be int pointer dot, and it's going to be hello from Suit Up and Hack. Going to have the caption be PInvoke, and our next one is going to be 0, closing it with a semicolon. And we should, if we've done everything correctly, go ahead and build it, and hopefully we don't have any issues, and we will then be able to hit that little play button to show that we will get a message box here shortly. Build has been completed and took 18 seconds or so. And I'm running this on Windows 2025 server evaluation. So let's go ahead and click on that PInvoke test. We're going to see our application pop up, and we should see all else. We're all in good standing here. We got that message box that popped up, and we were able to import it through PInvoke. Next thing we're going to show is I'm going to open PEbear, drop this application in there, and let's then check the import address table. All right. I've got PEbear opened. I've gotten it where I'm going to go ahead and click on our PInvoke test, the actual application that we created. And once it opens, we're going to see the usual output by PEbear. The thing that we're going to be going to take a look at is under this imports tab. And we are going to take a look and see what has been imported. And we take a look and we click on user32.dll, and we're going to see that the message box, even though we use MessageBoxA, we're seeing that message box, well, W, but in this instance, it's fine because it still did import. And again, this will be the main difference between PInvoke and DInvoke. PInvoke, import address table, these functions will show up, and it's important to know for your offensive tooling. Next video, we're going to dive into DInvoke, how we can do the same thing, but hopefully hide this from static analysis a little bit better so that if someone drops your tooling into PEbear, the import address table, your function won't show up. See you in the next video.